presenting EY Entrepreneur of the Year Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, the National Anthem, performed by the Symphony Orchestra of India. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And now, please welcome your hosts for the evening, Ms. Perizad Zorabian and Mr. Baman Irani.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 22nd edition of the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Awards, India 2020. These are the world's business awards celebrated in 60 countries and in 145 cities. A unique global program to recognize entrepreneurial achievement. My name is Baman Irani, and my wonderful co-host is none other than Perizad Zorabian. Welcome, Perizad.
Thank you, Baman. Thank you. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
So, Perizad, as I said, this is the 22nd edition of these awards.
22 years. Wow. That's fantastic.
Yes, and we've actually put together a film that gives us a glimpse of all these 22 years. Let's take a look at 22 years of the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Awards, India.
Today, receiving the award will propel further entrepreneurial spirit in all of us.
Entrepreneur of the Year Award, Shri Mukesh D. Ambani.
The Entrepreneur of the Year, Narayan Murthy. This award to me is yet another affirmation of my firm belief that I have received much more from the society than I have been able to give to the society. The winner by unanimous vote was Ratan Karas.
Responsible for the white revolution in the country, a great son of India.
Important parts of running business is to make a very deep and meaningful impact on the society.
I'm very grateful to Ernst & Young for this privilege, for this award, which I'm very happy to receive on behalf of my entire team.
This is a big award, and it's big for me because it's not Businessman of the Year, it's Entrepreneur of the Year.
Something like this clearly strongly encourages entrepreneurship.
I've been fortunate to be there during this very exciting years. I thank you very much for this at the end of my career.
I accept this award on behalf of 1.2 billion Indians in all humility. Entrepreneurship is about building a sustainable institution, and it has to outlive individuals.
If you believe in it, you're going to find a way to succeed.
We enjoy being disruptive.
There are 500 reasons to say no, but you have to find that one reason to say yes.
I'd like to dedicate this to really to the mavericks out there, to the misfits really.
Wow, that was truly inspiring. I can't wait to hear their stories.
Hang on, Parizad, that's on page 5 in your script.
Oh, I know, but can't we just jump straight to that?
We can't, because if we go right there, we won't be paid Parizad.
Oh, okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, our first speaker for this evening, please welcome Chairman of EY India, Mr. Rajiv Memani.
A very warm welcome to everyone watching this celebration of Indian entrepreneurship. Your presence shows your support to our country's indomitable entrepreneurial spirit. Last year was no doubt extraordinary. Organizations went through varying phases, starting with ensuring business continuity, to building resilience, and finally to a stage of bouncing back to their growth trajectory. A large number of entrepreneurs have used this period to pivot, strengthen their moat, and create greater value for their stakeholders. Tonight, we recognize some of those exceptional business leaders who have demonstrated the passion and tenacity to succeed against all odds. Friends, our EY Entrepreneur of the Year finalists for 2020 have shaped new paradigm with innovation and execution excellence. They have created differentiated propositions for their customers. That's why we call them the Unstoppables. Please join me in congratulating all our 14 finalists. The EY Entrepreneur of the Year program, through which we recognize the vital role entrepreneurs play towards nation building, is in fact the only global business awards program celebrated in over 60 countries. For India, it's a matter of great pride that 3 Indian entrepreneurs, Mr. Narayan Murthy, our jury chairman, Mr. Uday Kotak, and Dr. Kiran Majumdar-Shaw, have won on the global stage to become World Entrepreneur of the Year in 2003, 2014, and 2020 respectively. You will hear an insightful conversation with them shortly. I would like to welcome and express my sincere gratitude to our keynote speaker today, Mr. Mukesh Ambani, who, as you all know, is an incredible leader and inspiration for millions of entrepreneurs. Thank you, Mukesh bhai. I know you keep a very busy schedule, but your presence is a tremendous motivation for all the entrepreneurs amongst us and our audience watching the show. I would also like to express my appreciation to our jury, who add in the greatest measure to the stature of these awards. I thank Uday Kotak, our jury chair, and all our jury members for their support and commitment to the EY program. I also want to thank Carmine DeCibio, EY's global chairman, and Julie Tigland, EY's area managing partner for EMEA, who with their presence have made tonight's celebrations even more special. Once again, I thank everyone for joining us, and I wish you a great evening ahead. Thank you.
Now that was very, very well said. EY truly has such a long-standing association with recognizing entrepreneurs. Thank you so much, Mr. Memani. This year's award event is unique because, as you can see, it is virtual.
Had to be, yes, completely virtual. Now, Parisad, I've hosted this grand event before, and I want to assure you of one thing. Our audience is very, very sophisticated, very intelligent, very, very smart and important people, and as are the hosts, by the way. And they all come very well dressed, tuck. And let me tell you, the men especially, in the last 4 years that I have been hosting these awards, always wear their pants. I hope this year they will too.
Well, these are different times, Baman.
Yeah, you're right. And this has been a strange and challenging year. And on a more serious note, it has been the kind of year that has really tested even the toughest entrepreneur.
Which makes this year's finalists even more special.
That's right. This year's finalists have shown resilience, grit, and remarkable innovation to not just survive this pandemic year, but also thrive.
Demonstrating that they have one very unique quality. They are unstoppable. Which is why, ladies and gentlemen, we have created a very special song and a film that plays tribute to these exceptional men and women, our finalists, sung by my very talented co-host, Mr. Baman Irani, and composed and written specifically for this event. It is called The Unstoppables. Take it away, Baman.
I'll be back.
When the streets had fallen silent and the world had held its breath, when the air was still and masked with fear, the nation scorched with dread, you marched out of the shadows and made your mark in time. You worked to build and still create, brave shoulder to the grind. The Unstoppables, that's what you are. Unstoppable. That's why you shine, the Unstoppables. You'll always be unstoppable as time. You innovated against all odds. You refused to merely survive. You created a whole new future. Showed what it took to thrive. When the history of this time is told, your resilience will stand proud. When the sing of heroes brave and bold, your name will ring out loud. The Unstoppables, that's what you are. Unstoppable, that's why you shine. The Unstoppables, you'll always be unstoppable.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives us great pleasure to introduce a luminary amongst entrepreneurs, a business legend, not just in India, but across the world.
Please welcome our chief guest for the EY Entrepreneur of the Year 2020 Awards and a previous EY Entrepreneur of the Year winner.
The one and the only, Mr. Mukesh Ambani, Chairman, Reliance Industries Limited.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to each and every one of you. My hearty congratulations to the entrepreneurs who have won the E&Y Awards this year. As I look at the India of today and tomorrow, I see a tsunami of opportunities for entrepreneurs. There are two reasons for my confidence. Firstly, our Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, has been advocating a greater role for private sector in India's future development. Secondly, we now have the revolutionary power of new technologies to transform our economy. Our businesses have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to meet the needs and aspirations of 1.3 billion people for a good quality of life. We have the potential in the coming decades to be among the top 3 economies of the world. New sectors like clean energy, education, healthcare, life sciences and biotechnology, and transformation of existing agricultural, industrial, and service sectors offer unprecedented opportunities. Moreover, Indian entrepreneurs are now capable of providing world-beating quality to meet the needs of our market at the most competitive cost. This opens up the entire global market for Indian entrepreneurs. Today, India is surging ahead as an economic power, as a democratic power, as a diplomatic and strategic power, as a cultural power, and also as a digital and technology power. And the key driving force of India's rise will be our entrepreneurs who are inventing new things every day that can transform India and the world, who are disruptive and hungry for success. My dear entrepreneurs, many of you have started new businesses. Therefore, I would like to share one personal learning with you. Startup entrepreneurs must be ready to work with limited resources, but with unlimited determination. My young friends, my message is not to be deterred by failure, because only after many failures there is success. Therefore, I am absolutely confident that you are going to script far bigger success stories for India than the entrepreneurs of my generation. All the best to you as you pursue your dreams. May God bless you. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ambani.
It was really a pleasure to hear from you.
It's now time to hear and see some incredible stories of entrepreneurship. May I now introduce you to our first 5 finalists. The first set of unstoppables. Let's watch their journey through this film.
In 1995, Dinesh Agarwal was working in a plum job in the US when a momentous announcement brought him back to India.
The Prime Minister announced arrival of internet here in India, and the very next day I went to office and said that I want to go back to India. I came with a very small vision of trying to solve smaller problems of individual exporters to be able to market their Indian products at a cheaper cost. What if you could put them into an online directory kind of a thing where products can be searchable? And we formed IndiaMart.com as our product.
In spite of significant challenges like the dot-com bust and 9/11, IndiaMart continued to grow.
9/11 happened. Overnight, our business came down by half. We actually got aggressive. We saw that the similar problem existed even in the domestic B2B. So as you go to the rural areas, they are paying the most expensive price for any product. And that's why we thought of pivoting to a domestic B2B market. So IndiaMart today is the largest online B2B marketplace. We have customers from almost every pin code of India probably, making it easier to do business here in India.
Today, with over 119 million registered buyers, Dinesh Agarwal has steered IndiaMart through the challenges of the pandemic into an even brighter future.
During the March, April, May, we decided that the entire company now is going to do only COVID related supplies, servicing. Actually, it made some difference to Indian people and Indian economy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dinesh Agarwal. After stints at Kotak and ICICI, Sushil Kumar Agarwal decided to focus on an interesting gap in the home finance market.
We took Rajasthan market as a study point. So Rajasthan has 247 towns. When we mapped each town, we came to know only 12 are catered by the large housing finance companies. So first rule which we made is we will go in those markets where these guys are not there. Informal segment, unserved, unreached, I personally met first 1500 customers. First year, I traveled almost 60,000 kilometers.
It was only a matter of time before Avas grew exponentially.
We transformed our company from a brick and mortar company to a digital platform. We decided that we will go in-house model. That decision was the game changer for us because today our prepayment rates are lowest in the industry, and today we source almost 10,000 new home loan applications per month. So that scale up has happened because of this in-house model, which has helped us standardizing our processes, which in turn has helped us going to 9 states, 275 branches.
Today, with over 1 lakh active loan accounts, Avas sees no ceiling to its future growth.
The future vision is 20% CAGR growth for maybe another next 10 years. We want to be a long-run marathon company, so we'll continue serving semi-urban rural side of the India that has a huge opportunity.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Sushil Kumar Agarwal. Quitting a plum job at Microsoft, Piyush Bansal came back to India to start his entrepreneurial journey. After one moderately successful startup, he hit jackpot.
I remember reading an article which said India is the blind capital of the world. Looks like a problem nobody was focusing on. Can we use technology to solve it? That's how the journey of Lenskart.com started. One of the things that we realized, one way to grow this category, to do more eye tests. So we offered free eye test at home. Then we realized that that also is not enough. And that's how the stores came into the picture. And so we would have queues outside store wanting to do an eye test. We saw that we were making an impact on this problem of awareness in a big way.
Not satisfied with totally disrupting the eyewear industry, Piyush Bansal decided to innovate even further.
We set our vision to revolutionizing vision correction in India. We used technology, robotics. We made it super affordable. We actually anchored the Lenskart brand around fun. You know, if we want every Indian to get their eyes tested, they need to feel light about it. And then 3D try-on really plays a large role for us there. And we saw that change. Lenskart stores are crowded today and people coming in just trying. You know, I truly believe make meaning and rest everything will follow.
Today, with over 700 stores, over 5,000 people, and serving over 7 million pairs to customers in a year, Piyush Bansal has a clear vision for the future.
We want to solve the vision correction problem of India, and we truly think that we can.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Piyush Bansal. Virendra Gupta and Umang Bedi were on different career paths. After working in the mobile telephony space, Virendra Gupta saw an opportunity for regional language content.
Nobody was focusing on information services, and that's how I started WhatsApp. What we did at that point of time was to build information services around SMS. We solved the problem of font rendering of local language on a mobile phone. That led to the launch of NewsHunt app in the market.
In 2016, Virendra Gupta decided he needed to learn from the best, which led him to connect to the then CEO of Facebook India, Umang Bedi.
This whole local language market became a game of big boys. And in Umang, I found a guy who could take on the big companies.
And so that really started the journey. But I remember an interesting incident. When I quit, Viru and I were having these conversations that really built this rocket ship. And I remember what it took was this one holiday.
That we believe that there's an opportunity to create a big, large company which solves for Indian local users.
So the size of the prize made us believe that the local language market in India is going to be the single biggest opportunity in tech. That's what Daily Hunt stands for.
So today, Daily Hunt is the largest news and entertainment app in the country in 14 languages.
And we went on innovating in terms of creating new offerings like Josh. So it's been a phenomenal journey.
Today, with over 300 million monthly active users and a revenue of over 1,000 crore rupees, Umang Bedi and Virendra Gupta firmly believe that Daily Hunt's journey is only just beginning.
There are 1 billion more Indians to touch.
And we want to play a very large play in that local language market.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Virendra Gupta and Mr. Umang Bedi. After starting an online furnishing business, Vikram Chopra finally found a problem he wanted to solve.
We asked ourselves, what are the different experiences we have had that were not good? First ones that came out very quickly was buying or selling a car. Sort of the aha moment for us is that you have to start by solving for supply. So we go to some of these dealers and we tell them that, look, we have cars. Would you be interested in buying them? For next 2 days, these guys just kept following up and following up. So the next thing we did, we went to a petrol pump. We would show people our Facebook page. We found some sellers. And then we sent these pictures on WhatsApp to these dealers. And these dealers gave the price immediately. That led us to say that, we can actually create an app for this, which is called Cars 24. That's where we sort of came up with this idea of sell your car in 30 minutes.
In spite of early challenges, Cars 24 soon took off in a big way.
I think what we are creating is like a 100x better experience. We have 20,000 fresh cars for buyers to look at every month. That's phenomenal. So all these apps, inspection app, auction app, our logistics app, our warehousing app, our documentation app, helps us do all of this maneuvering in real time. So we have thousands of dealers from all over India bidding on the cars. What we are creating is too good to be true. And as an online player, we are not only largest, like nobody is even 1/10 of our size.
Today, with more than 10,000 dealers selling cars in over 130 cities, Vikram Chopra is all set to race into the future.
We also have aspirations to take this outside India, so why not?
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Vikram Chopra.
Mind-blowing. As an entrepreneur myself, I can only imagine just how hard it must have been for them to achieve what they have achieved.
Absolutely, Parizad. The EY Entrepreneur of the Year India winner last year went on to also win the EY World Entrepreneur of the Year Award for 2020. And here's a small snippet of that virtual event.
And the winner of the 2020 World Entrepreneur of the Year Award is Dr. Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, Executive Chairperson, Biocon Limited, India. Congratulations.
Wow, what a fabulous achievement.
True, and now it gives us great pleasure to felicitate this winner, who is one of India's most iconic entrepreneurs. Can we have Mr. Memani to felicitate Dr. Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, Executive Chairperson of Biocon and EY World Entrepreneur of the Year 2020.
So Kiran was the World Entrepreneur of the Year, phenomenal achievement, but we had to do this because of COVID, we had to do it virtually. So, I'm meeting Kiran, great to meet you Kiran, in person after a long time. And I thought we'll take this opportunity on behalf of the entire entrepreneurial community, on behalf of EY, to present you this. And it's a great honor and privilege to have you as the World Entrepreneur of the Year.
Thank you, Rajiv. It's such a proud privilege for me to win this award on behalf of India and, of course, on behalf of Biocon. And as an entrepreneur, I really believe that India's economy is going to be driven by entrepreneurial energy, as we can already see the startup economy blooming. And I just hope that many, many more entrepreneurs add to this growth.
You're a great inspiration, you're a great role model, and being a woman, it's even more special, and I'm sure it'll be a great motivation for a number of entrepreneurs who look at your story and want to emulate you.
Well, I want many, many women to enter the portals of entrepreneurship. But thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Oh, wow. This is a moment of such pride for all of us Indians and so encouraging. I believe she also just celebrated her birthday 2 days ago. So more power to her on her birthday. And now for some more inspiration.
Let's get to know the stories of our next 4 finalists.
With 2 children, including her son, Samrat Bedi, Meera Kulkarni had little inclination towards business, until tragedy turned her into an entrepreneur.
My husband died. I had no experience of working. I was very intrigued by doing soaps. Started as a hobby. I thought to myself, why can't we do Ayurvedic soaps like this? I was confident that if I was told that something is available which is absolutely pure, I would buy it.
In 2001, I joined her. From there, we've actually started to build the business. And Khan Market was a revelation for us. She said, we're going to take the store. And we opened the store.
It used to be sold out every evening. It was an absolutely crazy time. Gradually, it was 2, 3, 4, and so on.
A chance meeting put Forest Essentials on the international map.
In 2007, I got a call from a gentleman named Rohan Wazir Ali. He said, well, Mr. Loader, he would very much like to meet your mother-in-law. And he met with us and we never heard back. The year after I was traveling, Mr. Loader was standing at the lobby. I decided to go and say hello. And he said, so no one's been in touch? So I said, no. And I said, well, that's fine. I just wanted to say hello. And then I went back to India. From there onwards, we got bombarded by the entire top management of Estee Lauder. It was a start of a wonderful relationship.
And I don't think it's the scale of the business, but the quality of the business. I just taken it as something that I had to do, wanted to do, never looked at not achievable.
Today, with over 1,250 people, supplying to over 120 countries across the world, Forest Essentials is firmly on the path to a bright future.
We are looking at opening stores abroad. That's currently the future as we see it.
I call it global domination. That would be a fantastic legacy for me to leave behind.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Meera Kulkarni and Mr. Samrat Bedi. When Harsh Mariwala joined his family's business, he instinctively decided to focus on branding and differentiation.
I think formation of Marico gave me a huge opportunity to do things on my own. So when I started working, Parachute was there as a brand. We realized that if we can actually convert the whole market through innovation in packaging, we said that can we convert that market from tin to plastics? So we went to the trade, they rejected the idea. But you never give up. And it took almost 4 or 5 years. That helped us gain market share. As far as Saffola is concerned, at that time, medical opinion started showing the benefits of polyunsaturated oils for heart health. And I built that brand on that differentiator. So as an entrepreneur, you never take no for an answer.
Deciding to replicate this success, Harsh Mariwala guided Marico to launch a slew of brands.
I had to choose a portfolio of products where we had a right to win. We realized that anti-lice shampoo, where multinationals are not active, is an opportunity for us. So we acquired Medicare as the brand. And similarly, in foods also, we launched our Saffola range of masala oats. Kaya Skin Clinics was again a pioneering move. So I want growth which over a period of time has to turn profitable.
Today, with a market cap of over 52,000 crore rupees, serving over 5.1 million retail outlets, Harsh Mariwala and Marico are poised for a great future.
We will go on identifying opportunities and go on growing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Harsh Mariwala. After a degree in science, Deepak Mehta joined his father's chemical business.
So my father was mostly busy. I ended up trying to run Deepak Nitrite. So then on came an option for Deepak to grow both organically and inorganically, acquiring some businesses, creating new businesses. We moved into products which were agro intermediates, pharma intermediates, increasing our exports to almost 50% of our turnover.
But even as Deepak Nitrite started to grow internationally, Deepak Mehta realized that the true opportunity was elsewhere.
We did try quite a few acquisitions. One of these companies asked me, why do you look at Europe? We grow at just 2%. In your country, you grow at 12%. And I started thinking, are we belittling the opportunity that is there in India? One of the businesses that we looked at was a product which was in the petrochemical space. The plant was put up 5 times larger than any of the local players, Deepak Phenolics.
Today, with a group turnover of over 4,200 crore rupees, Deepak Nitrite has grown even during the challenging times of the pandemic.
So we had planned to make this product called IPA, one of the main ingredients of a sanitizer. We were just getting the plant to be mechanically complete, and then the pandemic struck. Ports were getting jammed, equipment were stopped. We ended up bringing our best people, keeping the collaborators constantly on the Zoom. The team did an exceedingly good job in commissioning of the plant. We could successfully do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Deepak Mehta. After a stint at Hindustan Unilever and Colgate, Suresh Narayanan moved to Nestle. where he built a reputation as the perfect man to solve any crisis.
I was requested to be based in Egypt at the Arab Spring began. So I was stuck there, not speaking a word of the language and having tanks on the streets. In a crisis, if you engage, you always get positive results. So the company grew by strong double digits. We became the most respected food and beverage company in Egypt.
In 2015, Suresh Narayanan was urgently called back to India to solve the biggest crisis of his career.
When Maggi got affected, it had become a very emotive issue. Maggi is a much-loved brand in this country. The crisis was really a regulatory misunderstanding on the technical parameters of the product. In fact, they banned the product. So we went to court, put forward our scientific basis for what we had done. Within 5 months, we came back after doing the requisite tests in accredited laboratories. Maggi, when it was relaunched, nothing was changed. A consumer brand technically dead for 6 months. That came back to leadership within 3 months.
Today, with a turnover of over 13,000 crore rupees, Suresh Narayanan has helped Nestlé successfully navigate the pandemic and set the company up for a great future.
Every single day of the pandemic, milk from all the 100,000 farmers have been collected by the company, sometimes far in excess of what we need. But I told my team, take every drop. This is the time for compassion, when you don't lead a company, but you serve a family.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Suresh Narayanan.
And now it is our privilege to introduce a very special segment in our 22nd EY Entrepreneur of the Year India celebrations. For the first time ever, we will have 3 winners of the EY World Entrepreneur of the Year from India on one platform.
Please join us in welcoming the very esteemed Mr. Narayan Murthy, the founder of Infosys and the World Entrepreneur of the Year 2003. Also, Mr. Uday Kotak, Managing Director and CEO of Kotak Mahindra Bank and World Entrepreneur of the Year 2014. And Dr. Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, Executive Chairperson of Biocon and the World Entrepreneur of the Year 2020.
Also joining us is Mr. Carmine DeCibio, the Global Chairman and CEO of EY, and Ms. Julie Teiglen, EY's EMEA Area Managing Partner, who will be moderating this discussion. Over to you, Julie.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am delighted to moderate this panel as we celebrate the 22nd EY Entrepreneur of the Year Awards in India. My name is Julie Teiglen. I'm EY's Area Managing Partner for EMEA, joining tonight from Heidelberg, Germany. Mr. Murthy, we're celebrating entrepreneurship today. What's been your biggest lesson out of this pandemic?
There are many lessons I've learned from the pandemic. In 1995, I had started at Infosys a group for risk identification and mitigation. Unfortunately, I was not smart enough to include pandemics in that list of risk factors. The lesson that I have learned is that corporate leaders have to assemble a group of thinkers from various sections of our society to recognize, understand, and create a complete list of the risk factors. This pandemic has humbled me and showed serious gaps in my thinking.
Uday, if I could talk to you around your business, disruption from fintech and an industry effectively constantly dealing with regulatory glare, the constant pressure of quarter-to-quarter earnings. In the midst of all this, how do you create room for the bold experimentation?
I think time has come for any business to go beyond quarter to quarter. It's extremely important for a company to think about opportunity in the medium term and to be able to convince investors that the company is building something which is more sustainable and has a game plan which will show returns over time. At the same time, the pandemic and the changes in the post-COVID world are both profound and dramatic. I believe COVID in 1 year has fast-forwarded momentum by 5 years. And therefore, there is no time to be lost for embracing the speed at which we focus on customer experience and digital.
Kiran, Biocon is deeply involved in developing biological therapies for COVID-19. Are you seeing any notable geopolitical trends in this area?
We as a company and we as a manufacturing sector had to figure it all out in terms of business continuity. And we had to be very resilient, and we had to pivot very rapidly into developing models that could keep us safe and could help our businesses to continue with their manufacturing activities. So I think it was a big set of lessons that we've learned during the pandemic. And I, for one, learned a very big lesson, and that is that India actually is extremely vital in the global supply chain when it comes to healthcare and global healthcare. But I think this is a time when you do need global partnerships, global collaborations, and global consolidation of supply chains to help with such pandemics.
Carmine, if I came to you and I reflect on the previous speakers and I said, do you think that entrepreneurs and the world is moving exactly in that direction? What's your view?
So a couple of things, Julie, I would say. One, I agree with Kiran 100%. There has to be, and the pandemic has showed that ecosystems, partnerships, and working together are more and more important than ever. And this is true in terms of solving the pandemic, but also solving a lot of issues that the world has. When it comes to governments, governments have always been important, and government is always important in terms of producing scale. So for entrepreneurs, if you're in any kind of business where you need to scale that business, you're going to need help from the government, most likely. I think there's an opportunity for entrepreneurs to use governments to get to wherever they need to be from their standpoint and from where their companies need to get to.
Mr. Murthy, you started back in 1981. If you reflect back on the biggest change that you've seen and how entrepreneurship has evolved?
Today, the market is highly competitive. There are lots of players. New ideas and innovation are coming up every day. Talent is in short supply. In my opinion, access to market and access to good talent are the two most critical factors for success in entrepreneurship in today's world. That access is much more difficult to obtain today than during our days. So overall, I would say that it is much more difficult to succeed today than during our time.
Uday, you have moved from a non-banking finance company in the mid-'80s to a leading national private bank and financial institution. Could I ask you what prompted you to repurpose, and how have you continually redefined both yourself and your organization?
Julie, the roots of my dream go back to Europe and the US. Think about the names like Rothschilds, S.G. Warburg, Kleinwort Benson, Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, Merrill Lynch. The individuals who started those companies may no longer be there, but the institutions have sustained. And that is the core of what I believe has been the great learning for me in terms of how to think about building financial institutions. That is our core purpose.
Kiran, could I talk to you about a topic that's close to my heart, gender divide? What do you think holds back women entrepreneurs, and what advice would you give them?
Well, Julie, I always found that it is tough to be a woman in a man's world. There are not enough of us. There are not enough women business leaders the world over. But having said that, I think there are enough role models for women. I think what women are challenged with most are with access to capital. There's a lot of perception hurdles. There is unfortunately a bias to male entrepreneurs as compared to women entrepreneurs, because for some reason there's a perception in the minds of VCs who are generally men that women are not good risk takers. And I think that's wrong, because I myself know that in my own business I've taken some of the biggest risks in my sector in India, and in most cases I have actually demonstrated that I could actually deliver on those promises. So I just think women do need to basically have much more confidence in themselves.
I think access to capital is absolutely critical for success. Uday, how do you assess the effectiveness of capital allocation and resources in today's environment?
Julie, we are going through a phase where we are in the middle of transformation. And that is where I think there is a case for business and entrepreneurs to be thinking about transformative change, which needs some bets in the short run. When I say short run, it could be anywhere from 1 to 3 to 5 years for building a more sustainable future when disruption is at our door. Therefore, at a time like this, while capital allocation fundamentally is important, it is also important to be ready to cannibalize your existing profit pools for a disruptive model on yourself into a future which will cost you in the present.
Carmine, we've heard throughout this conversation the importance of really having a vision. Can I ask you, what was your vision as you took over as the chairman of EY?
At EY, we very much are a company that believes in our purpose. Our purpose is building a better working world. And I will tell you today, all entrepreneurs out there, you should have a purpose to your company. If you don't, I think you're not going to attract the right talent. A purpose does not mean a tagline. It really means, what are your people thinking about every day? And what really motivates them to work at your company.
Mr. Murthy, can I ask you to share how enormously capable visionary entrepreneurs like yourself create a legacy for the future?
Right from the first day, the founders of Infosys operated on a set of principles. Let me list a few of them. As Jeff Bezos once said, entrepreneurs must be missionaries and not mercenaries. They have to have a larger than life, grand and noble vision. Second, the interest of the company must always come ahead of the interest of the individual. Investors understand that every business will have ups and downs. What they want us to do is to level with them at all points of time. Therefore, we operated following the adage, when in doubt, disclose. Third principle that we operated on was, we must use data and facts and not personal biases and opinions to take decisions in every transaction. The fourth one, and perhaps the most important one in the context of India, is that today's entrepreneurs are the evangelists of capitalism in India. Capitalism is new in India and is not trusted and liked by most people, including the government. Therefore, we embraced compassionate capitalism and conducted ourselves as exemplars of that philosophy.
Mr. Murthy, I'm absolutely positive that those principles that you outlined are more valid than ever before today. This panel has been incredibly humbling. Dear viewers, I can only thank you for taking time and hope that this has inspired you in some way for the future.
Now, that was
such an engaging session.
Yeah, truly a masterclass with such deep insights from these global achievers.
Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to our third and final group of 5 finalists.
Let us watch their stories.
While working in his family's OTC pharmaceutical business, Darshan Patel developed his own marketing philosophy.
We repositioned, moved from knee pain reliever to back pain reliever, worked very well. So what I learned was from head to toe, go and find out what consumer is looking for. From move to crack to ringard, you create one good idea and will roll. 2006, I came out of my family business. When we started our second inning, we said, let us go and introduce a deodorant into market. Every consumer used to tell us our can is getting over very fast. We picked up that insight. I said, if I can change the technology from aerosol to non-aerosol. So we created a commercial which was showing about gas and no gas. And with that one commercial, we were able to create a more than 400 crore brand.
Powered by the success of Fog, Darshan Patel took Vinny Cosmetics to the next level.
There was no face powder as a category in India. Consumer used to apply the same body powder on their face also. We created a product, White Tone, which was only meant for face. We have two formats, face powder, another face creams. White Tone has become more than 200 crore brand force.
Today, with Vinny's net revenue at over 1,000 crore rupees, Darshan Patel sees many more opportunities in the future.
My future plans are to make Vinny a multi-category company.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Darshan Patel. Born to teach her parents, Baiju Ravindran started on his eventual path by helping fellow students with their studies.
My friends came to me for help when they were preparing for CAT. What started with just 35 students in the first class, by the time I took the sixth session, it became 1,000 plus. So moved from a classroom to an auditorium and then to stadium, where at its peak I used to teach close to 25,000 students together. I was not teaching for money, I was teaching for fun.
Soon, Baiju Ravindran realized that he could reach even more students by harnessing the power of technology.
We moved from those stadiums to smartphones. We started launching our first set of learning apps way back in 2015 August. We kind of defined that category. We've been able to create something which is all around love for learning. We've done this across age groups, across subjects. Today we have apps starting from 4-year-olds up to 12th grade and even for test prep. Our challenge was not in creating brand awareness, our challenge was actually creating segment awareness. So the first 4.5 years, we got 45 million users onto our free platforms. In these 12 months, at the current rate, we will add an additional 45 million. That's the kind of impact because of the pandemic. So this model around self-learning, if you're told someone that in India that will work, nobody would have believed it, and looks like it's working.
Today, with over 80 million students learning from Baiju's and over 5.5 million paid subscribers, Baiju's is perfectly positioned to help future generations of Indian and foreign students.
I think if I can make a small difference to a small set of students and by creating that spark in them, I'll be happy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Baiju Ravindran. When Srinivas Sadhu first went to the US, a chance question at immigration set him on his future path.
The question at the immigration asked was, why are you going there? I said, I want to come back to India and start something on my own. So I came back and then joined NATCO Pharma. In 2000, I joined Gland. Compared to NATCO, it was a small $2 million company, but this was an opportunity where I could create something.
Not daunted by the lack of resources, Srinivas Sadhu innovated to grow aggressively.
I had a lot of discussion with the promoters and said, let's not stick to just contract manufacturing. In this area, not many injectables are there. We're supplying to world markets. Let's get into R&D and start building on that. Promoter, Dr. Ravi Penmitsa, he believed in me, but with one condition. He said, you have to create your own money and reinvest into the business. We had a great R&D team which we created, and they had some great first kind of products in India. I came out with this concept of co-marketing in India. The first few products got us like 20-25 crores of revenue. Then once we started generating revenues, we invested into US. First liquid injectable from India. First pre-filled syringe technology going to US from India. So we took that model of B2B, which really helped us to grow.
Today, with a market cap of around 40,000 crore rupees and products selling in over 60 countries, Srinivas Sadhu sees tremendous headroom for growth in the future.
We are only touching about 8 out of the $130 billion market. So there's more products to be launched, more geographies to enter.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Srinivas Sadhu. Born to doctor parents, Amira Shah was set on a career in the US when a conversation with her father changed the course of her life.
And he told me, but if you want to be an entrepreneur, then India is going to offer you opportunities that you're probably not going to be able to find as easily in the US. And I felt there was a great opportunity to move the industry, which was at the time 100% fragmented, to corporate chains. We came back to India end of 2001, and that's how really the journey started.
Bringing in business savvy to a technically sound organization, Ameera Shah soon put Metropolis Labs on a growth orbit.
We did our first acquisition in Kerala. So the idea was, can we go and bring other pathologists like my father under this umbrella of Metropolis? I remember, almost 560 crores of debt personally. Because as soon as I did that, I then was able to attract a leadership team, build that board and that kind of governance that I always wanted. And the B2C of the business went from being almost 20 to 30% to currently where we are almost close to 60-65% in our focus cities.
Today, with over 2,500 collection centers and over 4,500 people, Ameera Shah and Metropolis are perfectly placed to help the nation through the COVID crisis and beyond.
So I was obviously working very closely with the government in terms of designing the testing policy for COVID for India, and therefore invested in building up those capacities. Number two, we had to make sure that we had created enough of a safety net for our employees and make sure that we were there to really support this endeavor for our country.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Ameera Shah. Born into an entrepreneurial family, Sunil Vachani was still in his early 20s when he approached his father for a little capital to start his own business.
So I told my late father that this is the idea that I have. I want to look at the electronic manufacturing space. It was an alien concept. To his credit, he trusted me. I remember getting my first break with a company called Gold Star, which now is known as LG Electronics. They broke up with their erstwhile partner. So they decided to tie up with us for catering to the domestic market. This was just a small order of about 3,000 sets.
Then came the big break, which really spurred Dixon's growth.
The Tamil Nadu government decided to distribute 14-inch CRT televisions to the entire population. We emerged as the L1 in this first tender that came out. We were doing large numbers of almost 8 to 10x, and we were very lucky to get Motilal Oswal as the first private equity partner into the company. Motilal Oswal came in and really nudged us to look at the bigger picture. We started looking at product diversification, and today the company is one of the largest players across products in LED TVs, home appliances, mobile phones, security systems and cameras, medical electronics.
Today, with a net revenue of over 6,200 crore rupees, Sunil Vachani has ambitious plans for Dixon's future.
India is going to emerge as the hub for manufacturing, and Dixon wants to be at the forefront in the global markets.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Sunil Vachani.
So those were our 14 finalists.
Each one better than the other.
Wow, and I see there are two strong women entrepreneurs there as well. Ameera Shah and Meena Kulkarni.
Yes, that's really good to see, Parika.
I just want to say that especially in this very unique year, every single one of our finalists should be extremely proud of what they have achieved.
Absolutely. Every one of them is a winner. So let's take a look at all the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Award finalists 2020 one more time.
Wow.
Each one better than the other. And I honestly don't know how EY decides the winners.
Pawan, please, EY does not decide.
They don't decide, then who does?
Well, there's a jury.
Oh, well, what?
A jury.
A jury, okay.
Yes, a jury of some of the finest and most respected business leaders in the country.
Ah, okay.
Yes, and they have a very rigorous process by which they select their winners. Watch as we introduce you to
the jury. Yeah.
There are many awards in this country for recognizing businessmen, but a focused award which looks at entrepreneurship as the key lens through which a persons and businesses are evaluated is a unique EY property.
Awards like this are very powerful because they're a great set of awards built thoughtfully over time.
It's just understanding the pain which goes into building a company.
It is such a well-run process by EY that just recognition from that jury is something which is credible.
The first time I got this award, that was a very big recognition for me as someone who plays in this pharma sector.
Therefore, I think it's absolutely important, just the way gold medals are important at the end of Olympic race.
I think the judging process this year was different. Really looking at each of the candidates, assessed their ability to carve out a different future from the present.
Every category, there was a very tough competition.
We had a lot of emphasis put how the organization has come out through the crisis that the world is seeing.
We like that in certain businesses where people were able to actually navigate their course due to the challenges being thrown at them.
And I'm happy to share with you that the names of winners reflect an ability to bear shocks and also differentiate business models for a different future.
That doesn't give us confidence in the next 100 years of India. Nothing will.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, a very special award this evening.
To a very special entrepreneur.
Whose contribution to his field and indeed his nation goes beyond a single year or even a decade. Rather, a singular contribution extends to a lifetime.
It's a privilege and honor to introduce the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Lifetime Achievement Award winner.
Dr. Pratap Chandra Reddy, Chairman, Apollo Hospitals. Read the citation for the Lifetime Achievement Award. It gives us great pleasure to welcome our jury chair, Mr. Uday Kotak.
Thanks. In a year when health has posed the biggest threat ever to mankind, it is our greatest privilege to confer the EOY 2020 Lifetime Achievement Award on Dr. Pratap C. Reddy. As the architect of modern Indian healthcare, Dr. Reddy has laid out a compelling vision to provide world-class healthcare at a time when there was a massive shortfall in quality hospital care. With no prior entrepreneurial experience, he started Apollo Hospitals in the early 80s in a difficult business environment and persevered in the face of heavy odds to build India's largest integrated healthcare institution. Today, India has one of the most advanced and affordable healthcare amongst developing nations, led by the private sector. And Dr. Reddy has significantly shaped this reality. Dr. Reddy has also made a stellar contribution to the cause of gender diversity with the able mentorship of his 4 daughters, who are widely recognized as inspirations to many women entrepreneurs. The jury thanks, commends, and salutes Dr. Pratap C. Reddy, our Lifetime Achievement winner.
And now let us look at Dr. Pratap Chandra Reddy's journey in his lifetime of achievement.
After studying and working in the US as a cardiologist, Dr. Pratap Chandra Reddy decided to come back to India to impact many more lives.
One patient died with us. He couldn't raise $50,000 to go to US. How many more are going to die? Why can't we do something about it? Then I realized there are so many regulations. Banks will not give you a loan. So I made several trips. Ram Mukherjee, he called the finance secretary. If you don't sanction this loan, you're going to prove that I'm inefficient finance minister of India. So that is the breaking of the history. Very first hospital was started in then Madras, the Apollo, Chennai.
But Dr. Reddy's vision was to grow much bigger.
Then I went to the next Prime Minister and then wrote a letter. I wish I had done a beer factory in healthcare. Hospitals should be funded like any other trade or industry. A reform came, and with that, ICICI sanctioned a loan from one hospital. We went on. We've done over 20 million health checkups in the country. We have done innovations in heart surgery. Even in transplants, we are number 1. I think we are the largest organization today who have served largest number of people, 130, 140 million people.
Today, with a chain of over 70 hospitals, Dr. Reddy wants to do much more for the people of his nation.
What Prime Minister has done, this huge COVID vaccination, is phenomenal. We will also cooperate with him. Whenever he calls us, we are ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Lifetime Achievement winner, Dr. Pratap Chandra Reddy.
Dr. Reddy, a few words from you, please.
First, I must say, Ernst & Young is a great organization. I am very honored that such a great organization have recognized what I have done. What I want to advise, please pray good health. And if you are in good health, you will do better and better things. And my greater advice is, yes, I want you, when you are sick, I know there are good care that is available there in India, but there is also a good thing, a great medicine that we have discovered called the Pro Health, which is the preventive health care, which will give you a healthcare record. It's easy to maintain good health. It's easy for your doctor to manage your good health. Stay well, stay happy. So God bless you all. I'm so happy. Thank you, Ernst & Young, for giving me this award. I hope I deserve it. God bless you all.
At this stage, it would be most appropriate for us to thank all the country's healthcare professionals and workers, unstoppables again, who put themselves and their families at risk to protect us from COVID-19. Thank you. And now for the part we've all been waiting for. It's time to introduce our winners.
Yes, I'm excited and nervous.
You're not winning anything, dear. You can relax.
Oh, okay, Baman. Ladies and gentlemen, our first category of awards is for entrepreneurs who have dared to execute their radical ideas, scaled up their businesses in a very, very short period, and are challenging time-tested management mantras. For our first category is Startup.
Leveraging technology, innovation, advertising, and marketing, the winner has disrupted a centuries-old industry. Focusing on customer delight, he has reframed his product into a fashionable, fun-filled, and affordable brand. Innovative manufacturing, an omni-channel presence, and a fast-expanding footprint in India and overseas have enabled him to rapidly scale up, endearing him to the investor community and earning him the coveted unicorn badge. Ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman aptly reminds us all, Nazar ghati, durghatna ghati.
And our winner in the startup category is Piyush Bansal of Lenskart Solutions.
The legacy I would like to leave behind is as the guy who solved the vision correction problem for the world and especially for India.
Congratulations. Now, the entrepreneurs in our next category fulfill almost every aspect of our everyday needs.
They must keep going through thick and thin, and they really have to be unstoppable.
Our second category for this evening is consumer products and retail.
An extraordinary ability to identify untapped product categories and a passion to build brands differentiate this bold thinker. Today, the winner leads one of India's fastest growing mid-size FMCG companies, registering a stupendous 126% compounded annual growth in revenues in 10 years since it was founded. For an individual who once said, I don't know the A of advertising, the B of branding, and the C of customer, the winner has surely come a long way.
Our winner in the consumer products and retail category is, yeah?
Yep.
Darshan Patel, Vinny Cosmetics.
You need to create visions which are short-term, long-term. You cannot lose a passion for one day also. So be passionate, become unstoppable, and we'll keep on doing that.
All right. Congratulations, sir. And yes, you were unstoppable even during the lockdown.
Very, very true. And how was your lockdown, Baman?
Terrible. After 1 year at home, I think my wife is fed up of me.
And why would you say that?
She stopped wearing perfume and started using flip.
Baman.
Okay. Moving on to our next category. This award focuses on the champions of Atmanirbhar Bharat, entrepreneurs who make products to address domestic and global market needs.
Yes, our next category is manufacturing.
This winner is the most trusted name, recognized both for achieving a consistently strong performance and for his agility in responding to change and building a future-ready organization. With a focus on R&D and smart allocation of capital, he has launched new products, expanded capacity, and diversified into new businesses. He has built world-class facilities, grown exports, and created enormous wealth for shareholders with an 84% compounded annual growth in market capitalization in the last 3 years. The undisputed market leader, the winner, is commonly referred to as the chemicals man and lives by the motto of responsible chemistry.
Our winner in the manufacturing category is Deepak Mehta of Deepak Nitrite.
Really dream big, make plans, make fallback plans, and believe in yourself that yes, you can do it, and you will be there.
Congratulations and well done. Our next category is for entrepreneurs who have played a particularly critical role in this last year. They made sure we were safe and well.
And we are all very grateful for what they have done. This category is life sciences and healthcare.
The individual has consistently taken big bets, embarking on a bold yet focused strategy of acquisitions to expand market share and enter new geographies. By attracting professionals, making agile investments in technology and customer focus, the winner has created a pan-India brand and provided handsome return to investors. This individual made a significant contribution during the pandemic by rallying the organization's capabilities to conduct COVID tests in multiple locations. A role model for many, she is also deeply committed to empowering other women entrepreneurs to succeed.
Our winner in the life sciences and healthcare category is, I have a hint, I think.
I think we all know who this is.
Amira Shah, Metropolis Healthcare.
You cannot be an entrepreneur if you are not comfortable with uncertainty. And that actually gets you trained on how to operate in these crisis situations, because that's actually become second nature to us, on how do you sort of continue to not only survive but thrive in these uncertain times.
Congratulations, Amira. Hey, Baman, I hope you took good care of yourself during lockdown. Huh? Like exercised?
Yeah, of course. Every single afternoon. Every single afternoon, 90 minutes.
90 minutes?
Yep.
Wow, that's impressive. What did you do?
90 minutes yoga.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
90 minutes yoga.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 90 minutes yoga. Strenuous yoga. Strenuous shavasana. Okay, Parisa, this next category is very important.
Really?
Yeah. They play a crucial role in propelling the economy and enabling others to fulfill their dreams. And the category is financial services. With his vision to upgrade the lives of millions of Indians, the winner has followed the twin mantras of affordability and accessibility. By digitizing every operation, he has enabled quick and direct service delivery while achieving internal efficiencies. With a robust financial performance, he has created tremendous wealth for investors in the 3 years since listing, registering a 60% compounded annual growth in market capitalization. Adjust nahi, upgrade karo is his message to customers as he gives them the wings to own their dream homes.
And our winner in the financial services category is Sushil Kumar Agarwal of Avas Financiers.
It's a good year for learning. This crisis further strengthened our belief in our core system that business in lending should be run conservatively, and whatever decision we have took in the past has helped us surviving this also.
Congratulations. We now move on to a category of entrepreneurs who, with their innovative solutions, are changing the paradigms of service delivery and customer experience.
Yes, the category is services. The winner is a pioneer in his industry who leveraged technology well ahead of time. This individual has run a marathon, staunch in his conviction for over 2 decades, pivoting his business relentlessly to emerge as the market leader. With constant innovation, he has enhanced value for customers and built a strong brand, while also delivering tremendous growth. Investors have backed his vision, with his maiden IPO in 2019 being oversubscribed 36 times and market capitalization showing a compounded annual growth of over 210% since listing. Millions of small businesses are his loyal customers today, kyunki kaam yahi banta hai.
And our winner in the services category is... Any guesses? Dinesh Agarwal of India Mart.
Enjoy what you're doing and do what you enjoy. Go long. I mean, there's no shortcuts in life. If you try 5 times, you'll get lucky once at least.
Outstanding. Congratulations once again. Parizad, if you don't mind, may I ask you a personal question? Yeah, okay, good. That's nice. Nothing that personal, but are you married? No.
Yes.
Yeah, and what's your husband's name?
Baman.
No, what's your husband's name?
Baman. My husband's name is Baman.
And what's his surname?
Irani.
Oh, that's the exact same name as me, right? So is he handsome?
Yes.
Intelligent?
Yes, very.
Rich?
Yes.
And is he an actor?
No.
Duplicate. Come on, let's go on. Okay, the CEO chair is not an easy one.
Yes, one has to juggle the interests of so many stakeholders.
And still show continuous results while taking risks and driving innovation in the same way as entrepreneurs do.
The category is
Entrepreneurial CEO. The winner has transformed his organization, building trust with all stakeholders. New products, new markets, technology, and brand leadership have been at the core of his strategy, helping him to significantly accelerate growth and deliver handsome returns to investors. Handpicked for the CEO's role at a challenging moment, he ably navigated the ups and downs, leading from the front to emerge stronger. By empowering teams and offering unique customer experiences, he has reimagined a century-old multinational, even as he has scripted the legendary comeback of India's most loved noodle brand. With him at the helm, Zarur kuch acha pak raha hai.
So our winner in the entrepreneurial CEO category is Suresh Narayanan of Nestle India.
Management of yourself is more than 50% of the issues off the table in managing a crisis. So if I start to panic, if I start to worry, then I'm going to send shockwaves in the organization. Remember, attitudes are infectious. So is leadership.
Congratulations. I love Maggie.
Yeah, I love it too. 2 minutes. Huh? What an idea. Even the Indian Cricket Board is getting inspired by it.
Really? How?
They're currently prototyping 2-day test cricket.
Okay, now for our next set of awards for entrepreneurs who've not only catapulted their own business with bold and innovative thinking, but also transformed an entire sector or market.
The category is Business Transformation.
Thinking big is his motto, and the world is now set to be his stage. He disrupted an industry as old as mankind itself, using the power of technology and branding. Forging ahead with extraordinary speed and agility, he has made a series of path-breaking acquisitions to meet the diverse needs of millions of young minds. A favorite of the investor community, he's attained a staggering valuation of about $13 billion in just a few years. A winner of the EOY Startup Award in 2018 and the torchbearer of the country's EdTech revolution.
Our winner in the Business Transformation category is Byju's hai to progress hai. Byju Ravindran, founder of Byju's.
If I can influence a small percentage of the students in actually becoming an active learner, because the impact is not just in the exams they take, it's not in school years or college years, right? It will actually make a huge difference in the way they live.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to announce the big winner of the evening.
Yes, the EY Entrepreneur of the Year India 2020.
The entrepreneur who stands out from the rest, who will not just walk away with the biggest honor of the evening, but will also represent India at the World EOY later on this year. So hold your breath as we reveal the EY Entrepreneur of the Year India 2020.
And to announce this winner, I'd like to call once again our Honorable Jury Chair, Mr. Uday Kotak.
The EY Entrepreneur of the Year 2020 stands the tallest among peers. He is a visionary who has made as spectacular a contribution to society as he has to building a values-driven global organization. Much ahead of the times, he disrupted the market and his own business with products and services which are household names today, having stood the test of time for over 3 decades. He represents an inspiring example of breaking into an established market with niche products and becoming a world beater in a sector traditionally dominated by multinationals. By empowering professionals and backing innovation to the hilt, he has consistently reinvented his businesses to stay tuned with the changing customer needs and embraced new ways of doing business. With his focus on building a sustainable business, the company has delivered an impressive compounded annual growth rate of 24% in its market capitalization over last 20 years. A change maker, he has nurtured innovation not only in his company, but across the ecosystem, and is enabling high potential growth stage entrepreneurs in their journey. A most respected voice of India Inc., the winner has also won the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Manufacturing Category Award in 2009. The EY Entrepreneur of the Year 2020 winner, ladies and gentlemen, is Mr. Harsh Mariwala of Marico.
Wow, congratulations. We have something special, don't we, Baman?
Yes, something I am really looking forward to. A very interesting conversation between our EY winner, Mr. Harsh Mariwala, and Global Chairman and CEO of EY, Mr. Carmine DeCibio.
Thank you, and hello, everyone. Congratulations, Mr. Mariwala. It's so fantastic in terms of you winning this award. Big congratulations from our entire EY family around the world. It's so great in terms of your win here in the award in India, and of course you're going to represent India in our global award as well. So a big congratulations to you, and also congratulations to all our winners. All the finalists, all our winners around. It's great to see the impact you all have had in the business world. It's tremendous. Your persistence. It's just so great to see the impact all you entrepreneurs have on the world and in business in general. So Harsh, I have to ask you a few questions. Congratulations, first of all. So I am told that your first book is coming out, and it's called Harsh Realities.
You're absolutely
right. Which is a catchy name. I love the name. So tell us about your book. Is it about entrepreneurship? What's it about?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. This is my first book and hopefully the last book, because it's been a big learning for me in terms of writing the book. It's about my own journey. It's about my own struggles, my failures, my learnings. It's about scaling up from the time I started to how I built the organization. So how as an entrepreneur, you start very small and then you grow and scale up. And then as you scale up, what is the role of the entrepreneur, how it changes, and how entrepreneurs have to go on changing their roles as they become larger in size. So it's about my own journey, about my strategies, about my growth, acquisitions, even things like the culture building, people issues, talks about the board management, and of course the purpose of the organization and corporate social responsibility. So it's a book which I have written. I have a co-author in Professor Ramcharan, and he has given his insights on my writings. So I'm very fortunate to have him on board. And the book will get released, I think, in maybe about 2 months or so. It's already gone to the publisher. So I'm very happy that finally the book has come to an end in terms of writing. And thanks to pandemic, I got much more time to write the book.
Well, that's fantastic. And it sounds like the book is very much going to be great for entrepreneurs and budding entrepreneurs from around the world, and certainly in India, in terms of what you've gone through. So congratulations. It's just fantastic to see. You've done so much for all entrepreneurs, and congratulations on being our big winner in India. Harsh, thank you so much.
Thank you, Carmen. It's a pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sirs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This brings us to the end of our wonderful evening.
But before we end, we would like to inform you of one thing, Parizad.
Yes, the highlights of this program will be aired on CNBC TV 18 on the 7th of April at 6 p.m. And that really brings us to the end of this fantastic evening.
And what an evening it has been. The chance to hear the inspiring stories of all our finalists and winners, the opportunity to listen to some of the finest entrepreneurs of the country and the world, and the perfect occasion to pay tribute to those people who create jobs and help communities, and who now, in the face of the generation's greatest challenge, have shown that they are truly worthy of that term, the Unstoppables.
Thank you.
And good night.
Unstoppables, you'll always be unstoppable as time. You innovated against all odds. You refused to merely survive. You created a whole new future. You showed what it took to thrive. When the history of this time is told, your resilience will stand proud. When they sing of heroes brave and bold, your name will ring out loud. The Unstoppables, that's what you are. Unstoppable.